That's nightly news for this Tuesday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
Here's what's happening.
The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
I'm the face of post-racial America. Deal with it, Kate Blanchett.
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards tonight on NBC. And watch the red carpet live. The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
I'm the face of post-racial America. Deal with it, Kate Blanchett.
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards tonight on NBC. And watch the red carpet live from Eve.
Your Honor, the defendant is groping her attorney.
That's night court, baby.
Big Bang's Melissa Rout.
Anyone that's a stripper, please go home.
John Larroquette.
I am renowned for charm and grace.
Night Court, January 17th on NBC.
Weather Watch 12. Weather from where you live.
Straight ahead, the link between food and dementia. We'll learn why daily choices could lessen your risk.
Plus, trying business without the risk. We'll learn how students got a taste of entrepreneurship today.
And a new Wisconsin law protects victims, but many are not sure how it works. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Jeff Weller.
Welcome to News Watch 12 at 6. I'm Jessica Jukic.
And I'm Dan Hagan. It's hard to find someone who hasn't been affected by Alzheimer's or another form of dementia.
And for people entering their golden years, it can be a scary thought of what might come. But new research shows at least one way to slow cognitive decline. News Watch 12's Nick Van Zyl joins us now to tell us more. Nick.
Thanks, Jessica. Changing one's diet is a common New Year's resolution. But what foods you choose can have a lasting effect on your brain. I spoke with regional coordinator of the Alzheimer's Association to find out how some foods may lead to quicker mental declines. Alzheimer's is a devastating disease causing loss of memory and the ability to function independently.
Difficulty with fluency, finding words, having conversations. They have more difficulty with executive decision-making.
Julie St. Pierre from the Wisconsin chapter of Alzheimer's Association says multiple factors can affect mental decline. While the onset of Alzheimer's is unpredictable, it is possible to lessen the risk of this degenerative disease.
But there's certain risk factors that we can control, and one of those is the lifestyle decisions that we make.
George St. Catherine knows focusing on healthy food choices and staying active are ways to improve lifestyle.
Important thing is to stay physically fit. And of course, having good eating habits is another important thing.
In a Brazilian study, researchers found some people experienced a faster decline in cognitive functioning than others. What this group had in common was a diet high in ultra-processed foods.
Foods that go through a lot of industrial processing, that have a lot of added preservatives, a lot of added sodium, sugar, artificial colors and flavors, preservatives, stabilizers, will put us at risk for developing cognitive issues as we get older.
Some ultra-processed foods include white bread, potato chips, and frozen pizza. To help lessen these potential declines, people should focus on choosing fresh fruits and vegetables along with other whole or minimally processed foods.
It's just about making conscious decisions about things that are a little bit more natural and a little less processed.
Now, this doesn't mean that you have to skip on your favorite foods entirely. Just add a bit more balance and avoid processed foods. For more information on the study, go to WJFW.com.
Thank you, Nick. Well, Jeff, some may call us a crummy day outside. I prefer to say a different kind of day.
Just wrap your arms and embrace it, right? Foggy out there, some drizzle, some light rain, and now some freezing drizzle out there too, Jessica.
Definitely making it harder to drive home or...
Yeah, visibility has come down a bit tonight, and will do so throughout the night tonight into tomorrow. Let's go outside now and check on Stevens Point, and here we are on campus where there is some fog and some drizzle. This will definitely slow you down a bit tonight because temperatures are flirting with freezing, so that means whatever is making making contact with these cold temperatures will likely freeze tonight, and that will give us some icy spots just like this morning, which caused lots of accidents this morning. Currently, we're at 32 in Rhinelander, 31 for Leona, 34 for Wausau. So below freezing here, above freezing here, but most of us will go back below freezing tonight, and anything wet or slushy will likely refreeze and make it a bit slippery. Lots of clouds out there, some drizzle, some fog, and press repeat. That was our day today, and will be our night tonight and our day tomorrow before we get all this out of here late tomorrow night and really more so on Thursday. But right now, visibility has come down across our region a mile or so in Anago. This will actually get worse tonight before it gets better tomorrow. So our forecast then tonight, though, is foggy skies, some drizzle, some light freezing drizzle with low temperatures down near 27. Your full forecast is coming up. Dan?
An Ohio man traveling through Vilas County was arrested and charged with his 5th OWI. 44-year-old Lindsey Floyd of Brunswick, Ohio, was arrested by Wisconsin State Patrol on Monday. The arrest was made after State Patrol received a complaint of a vehicle in the ditch on County K in Manitowish waters. The trooper then located a 2009 gray Chrysler and observed signs of impairment in the driver. The driver refused field sobriety tests and was then placed under arrest for operating while intoxicated for his 5th time.
The former Northwoods High School student charged with making a terrorist threat back in June was in court today for a pretrial conference. 19-year-old Adam Bauman was charged with 1 count of making terroristic threats. Authorities say he allegedly made the threats toward school officials last June. During court today, the defense asked for another pretrial conference to be scheduled right before Bauman's jury trial. Bauman will be in court again for a pre-conference trial on March 2nd at 2 p.m., and his trial is scheduled for March 21st and 22nd.
A man had to be rescued today from the roof of Walmart in Merrill. He was injured while working on the roof. Merrill Fire quickly responded to the call and brought him down from the building using the extendable arm from one of their trucks. The worker is expected to recover from his injuries, and those injuries are believed to have been caused by inclement weather.
4 eagles have another shot at life thanks to a local animal rehabilitation. Reggie and Anago have nursed thousands of birds back to health over the past 30 years. Director Marge Gibson says 80% of the eagles she cares for have lead poisoning. The animal release was along the Wisconsin River near Madison, and it was a spiritual experience for many. Members of the Stockbridge-Muncie Mohican tribe sang while the eagles were released.
Headwaters in Rhinelander cares for developmentally disabled people, and it can be hard to accommodate their wide range of needs. The organization is hoping to purchase new equipment soon to help their participants. Headwaters is raising money for that right now. Some of the equipment includes adjustable activity tables, power lift chairs, a touch-screen curriculum kiosk, and many more. If you're interested in helping out, send a donation to Headwaters, Inc. at 1441 East Timber Drive in Rhinelander.
Wisconsin Business World's main goal is to inspire and engage students from across the state about business and entrepreneurship. And today, more than 100 Rhinelander high school students were able to do just that. They spent the day working in groups to create the product and sell. They split into groups to create a presentation to show their peers. Jason Fairfield is a senior at RHS and took on the role as one of the CEOs for this project.
It's stressful. It definitely feels like a CEO position. It is nice to be able to kind of have control and be able to determine where things are heading for the company, but at the same time, it's a lot of responsibility.
Senior Director Michelle Grakowski says she loves seeing how creative students are getting for this project.
It's so invigorating. Like, I leave these programs just so inspired because the creativity and the ideas that the students have, it's just out of this world.
Grakowski believes the main goal of the program is to help students gain more confidence. You can visit our website, WJFW, for more information about the program.
In 2020, Wisconsin voters approved a state constitutional amendment known as Marsy's Law, which gives additional rights to victims of crimes. But people are still trying to figure out how to best utilize that law. Today, a mapping exercise took place at the Marathon County Public Library, bringing together criminal justice leaders to discuss what has been working since the law's passing and what hasn't worked in enforcing it.
Being here with a room full of stakeholders who are part of that process, we are ensuring that victims have access to their rights in most meaningful and trauma-informed way.
The information gathered at today's meeting will go to the State Department of Justice to help provide further recommendations. Kelpic says that's a positive step towards improving victim outcomes.
We're very lucky to live in a state that where people really care about victims' rights, and we are seeing that in counties that we have been able to visit so far, and we certainly plan to do more of these in the future.
This was the third mapping exercise held in the state within the last 10 months. The FAA is looking at new regulations for airplanes. We'll tell you how they plan to make flights safer.
And President Biden is under fire for some classified documents he never returned. We'll have that story after weather with Jeff.
Can we really trust him with a car?
Of course we can, Lindsay, with AAA auto insurance.
Wait, AAA has auto insurance?
We do home insurance, too.
Switch and save on AAA auto insurance and expect something more.
Does this sound familiar? You make the minimum payment, but the balance is still the same. You make a payment a few days late. Here come the late fees, past due notice, and the collection calls. We understand dealing with debt problems is not easy. It is stressful and hard, not only for you, but for your loved ones, your family. You're not alone, but you must understand debt problems only get worse unless you take action. If you owe more than $10,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, please take a minute and call the number on the screen. Learn about programs that have helped thousands of people get out of debt. Reduce your monthly payments, cut interest, and even settle your debt for a lot less than you owe. Save thousands. Get your life back. Call the number on the screen now. It's a free call, free information, and most importantly, you will have options. Remember, waiting will not make the problem go away. Call us. Our lines are now open.
There's no way to count the number of sandwiches you've packed over the years. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work. But now they're in someone else's hands. And you couldn't be more proud of who you're handing the farm to. No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
Can we really trust him with a car?
Of course we can, Lindsay, with AAA auto insurance.
Wait, AAA has auto insurance?
We do home insurance, too.
Switch and save on AAA auto insurance and expect something more.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Slumberland.
Well, this is fun. Some fog out there, some drizzles, some mist, some freezing fog, and press repeat. That was our day today. Here we are on campus in Point, looking at some fog out there as well. That will linger through tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, as we have temperatures right at freezing currently in Rhinelander. The southeast breeze around 10, and a dew point there at 30. The air is incredibly saturated across all of north central Wisconsin right now. 34 for Wausau, just above freezing for you. Cloudy skies there as well, with that pressure at 29.83, kind of low across the area currently. All right, so temperatures here are below freezing, and over here are right at or slightly above freezing. So we're kind of freezing everything up this way, and there's lots of mist in the air and some fog out there, making things very slippery across our region tonight. Going forward, though, temperature-wise, 33 tomorrow, 32 for Thursday. The average high is 23. We might do that on Friday, but other than that, though, our low temperatures are now above our average high temperature into the weekend, and then a slow climb next week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We could do mid-30s or so Sunday to Monday, and that's important because there'll be a system across the Great Lakes and Midwest late Sunday to Monday that could give us a rain-snow mix again with temperatures in the mid-30s. Until then, though, the air has gone calm in lots of locations out there tonight. That will give us some incredibly dense fog once again. It'll make the trees look really cool tomorrow morning, the frozen trees, but other than that, makes driving not so much fun this evening into tomorrow morning, as there is lots of fog to get through tonight. Visibility is down to a quarter mile currently in Mosinee, 1.75 miles in Wausau. This will all kind of expand in coverage and intensity tonight. So lots of freezing fog in the air, and that's not good for slippery travel conditions again this evening. Okay, so lots of clouds across Wisconsin now and pretty much the entire Great Lakes area. There are more high clouds working in, but overall just some drizzle. There could be maybe a little bit of spitting of light snow tonight. Other than that, just a dusting of that stuff by tomorrow morning. Mostly, though, it's kind of drizzle out there for us. But over here to the west of us, this is the newsmaker, right? Days of rain across the west, 109 mile-per-hour wind gusts in Nevada today. These storms are incredibly powerful, but most of them are going to go to our south beginning tomorrow as the energy is traveling across the southern states, not across northern states. For us, though, we have lots of clouds out there, some drizzle and press repeat. That'll be our story into tomorrow, in throughout the day tomorrow. It'll finally kind of wind down tomorrow evening, and then we're in for a nice day for us getting into Thursday and Friday. Our forecast, though, tonight, though, is some drizzle out there, some fog and flurries, press repeat, low temperatures down near 27. For tomorrow, it's Wednesday already, some drizzle and fog again. I know, right? High temperatures near 33 with a south breeze around 5. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows tomorrow one more day of this, then decreasing clouds Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looking pretty good with temperatures hanging out in the 20s to low 30s. Dan and Jessica.
A small plane made an emergency landing along a highway outside of Chicago Tuesday. This small aircraft landed safely on the right shoulder of the Veterans Memorial Tollway in Bolingbrook. The plane landed without incident but snarled traffic along the tollway around 2 p.m. this afternoon. Illinois State Police responded to the scene. The plane did not strike any vehicles, nor did it hit any objects on the ground. The pilot was the only person aboard the aircraft and was uninjured. The plane took off from Wisconsin earlier in the day, and it's unclear what caused the emergency landing.
The FAA is calling for expanded safety protocols following the 2020 helicopter crash that killed NBA star Kobe Bryant and the failures by Boeing that led to the 737 disasters. The crashes involving Boeing left 346 people dead. The newly proposed rule from the FAA calls for the mandatory expansion of safety management systems, or SMS, to charter flights and air tour operators. The FAA said too many operators either do not have one in place or have an effective one that is a safety system, and it's time to get that on board with all of them. The goal is to detect potential safety issues before they pose any risk to air travelers.
President Biden is taking part in the so-called Three Amigos Summit in the National Palace in Mexico City today. The president, Canadian Prime Minister, and their Mexican counterpart vowed to deepen regional economic integration between their countries and the North America Leaders Summit. The United States, Mexico, and Canada will take steps to strengthen North America's semiconductor industry as the country tries to resolve a dispute over Mexico's energy policy that has angered investors. The president met Lopez Obrador yesterday and discussed strengthening economic ties, fighting the drug trade, and approaches to curbing illegal migration. The three leaders will issue public statements after their trilateral talks today. As the president meets with his regional counterparts in Mexico today, he's facing sharp new criticism over his handling of classified documents from his time as vice president.
Isabel Rosales is in Washington with the latest.
President Joe Biden under fire. Following revelations that 10 classified documents from his time as vice president were discovered, among other materials, by his personal attorneys at a private office in Washington, D.C., occupied by Biden from 2017 to 2019. The government materials found last fall were promptly turned over to the National Archives, which maintains the records of federal office holders when their service has ended. The White House counsel's office says the president was unaware the documents were there and doesn't know what they contained. But a source familiar with the matter says the materials covered topics including Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom. The U.S. Attorney in Chicago is now reviewing the situation as the Justice Department determines how to proceed. The circumstances have some similarities to the scandal that enveloped former President Donald Trump, who is currently under investigation after scores of classified documents were uncovered at his Mar-a-Lago home during an FBI raid last August. But there are clear distinctions between the two cases, including the number of documents and types of classifications involved, the circumstances in which they were discovered, and the level of cooperation cooperation with federal authorities. Republicans, however, seizing on the controversy.
How long have they been sitting around? Who had access all of this time? How many people had access all of this time? Of course, people are asking, where's the FBI raid?
The chair of the House Oversight Committee says he plans to press the National Archives for more information on the matter.
The Earth's ozone continues to repair itself. I'll tell you why coming up.
And Forest Services is waiving fees for January. We'll explain in a few minutes.
At Hardee's, no matter what you choose, it's the right choice. Because our new 4 for $6 deal lets you make your own combo. Mix and match, then feast or snack on the food you're craving, all for just $6. Combine your favorite flavors into the perfect deal with our new 4 for $6 menu only at Hardee's.
Eagle Floor Covering in Eagle River, locally owned and operated for over 2 decades. With over 40 years of combined quality sales and service experience, we can help you find the right floor for your lifestyle and budget.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, make Argonne Lumber your first stop. High-quality materials, personalized service, expert staff, and delivery are just some of the things Argonne Lumber is known for. Stop in and smell the lumber at Argonne Lumber, 2 locations in Argonne and Rhinelander.
This winter, Ho-Chunk Gaming Wittenberg wants you to unleash the Snow Beast. Win a 2023 Ski-Doo Renegade Enduro snowmobile with an enclosed trailer from Anago Yamaha. Then we'll send you to AJ's Walleye Lodge in the UP for 5 days and 4 nights of serious powder. Earn points, rewards, play, and entries. They'll give it away Saturday, January 28th at 9 p.m. Unleash the Snow Beast at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wittenberg.
Update your appliances and save at Menards. Spruce up your home with appliances from Whirlpool. Check out the largest in-stock selection and upgrade to new energy-efficient appliances and save big money. Menards has everything you need to make over your bathroom, like this linear 3-piece wall kit from Lions. Enjoy its slip-resistant shower floor and comfortable 18-inch tall seat. Start your next project today and save big money on tubs and showers from Lions at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
At Len's Truck, we've made the buying experience fast and easy. All our trucks are guaranteed clean, certified, can be bought hassle-free online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. And when you buy a Len's Truck, know that you're buying the best used truck money can buy. Go now to lenstruck.com. You'll find over 800 used trucks, all priced to move. Go now to lenstruck.com.
Len's Truck. NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
At Hardee's, no matter what you choose, it's the right choice. Because our new 4 for $6 deal lets you make your own combo. Mix and match, then feast or snack on the food you're craving, all for just $6. Combine your favorite flavors into the perfect deal with our new 4 for $6 menu only at Hardee's.
The USDA Forest Service will waive fees at day-use recreation sites next Monday in recognition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Across the country, the fee waiver days apply to many national forest picnic areas, boat launches, trailheads, and visitor centers. The Forest Service waives recreation fees on most day-use sites on lands managed by the agency annually in observance of special events or federal holidays. The first 3 fee-free days this year are Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, and National Get Outdoors Day.
Good news for the Earth's ozone. It's on track to recover completely within the next 2 decades, as ozone-depleting chemicals have been phased out across the world. That's according to a new United Nations-backed assessment. The ozone layer of the atmosphere protects our planet from harmful ultraviolet rays. For decades, scientists have warned about a hole in the ozone caused by substances including chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, which are found in refrigerators, aerosols, and solvents. According to the assessment published on Monday, the use of CFCs has dropped 99% since 1989 thanks to international cooperation. If global policies stay in place, the ozone layer is expected to recover to 1980 levels by 2040 for most of the world. We'll have a final check of the forecast after the break.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses. See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision.
That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The Buick Envision, built around you, all of you.
Get 3.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on Buick SUV models.
Spectrum just launched Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile come together to keep you seamlessly connected wherever you are!
Why did you switch? Because Spectrum Internet delivers the fastest download speeds in the nation.
And the advanced Wi-Fi has enhanced security and privacy features that automatically block online threats.
How reliable is Spectrum Mobile?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
Switch to Spectrum One and get internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and one free line of unlimited mobile. Call 1-833-861-4999.
There's a reason we're called People's State Bank and not the first bank of this or the big bank of that. It's because we share this community and the values that make it better and dream that our kids and yours will grow up happy. We know these roads as well as you do, and we're glad to travel them with you. When you think about it, it's really pretty simple. We're your kind of people. We just happen to be bankers. And that, more than anything, is what brings us together.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
In the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
All right, Dan and Jessica, lots of fog out there again tonight. It'll likely linger through much of tomorrow. Some drizzle, some freezing fog, too. Then it gets better, though. So tomorrow's the last day of this. Then some sunshine's back in the forecast Thursday into Friday and Saturday, too, with highs in the 20s.
Looks like a great weekend out there.
Looking forward to that sunshine. Love that. Thank you, Jeff. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 10.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers.